good Monday morning. Thank you so much for joining us here on After GMS on the News 2 Facebook page. We hope that you had a wonderful Easter Sunday. I know that it was beautiful. I really enjoyed time with my family, and I couldn't have asked for a better forecast for that day, but today's very different.
Very different day. Overall, a nice weekend. Hope you enjoyed. And now we're dealing with rain and cold temperatures across the Piedmont. Let's start out and take a look at rainfall amounts so far for today since midnight. Nearly a half of an inch in Asheboro, Winston-Salem, Smith Reynolds Airport, 0.30, about a quarter of an inch out at PTI. Some of our southern areas, Albemarle, getting 0.40, just under an inch of rain over at Hickory. Now the rain continues to come down, so I think many areas across the Piedmont will get upwards of an inch of rain before it tapers off during the afternoon. Our temperature at midnight was 55. I think that's going to be our high today. The rain has moved in, it's cooled the atmosphere, so this is a cold rain, and we're going to stay in these mid and upper 40s pretty much all day. You know where we should be? Yeah, we should be up to 72 today. We're not even going to be in the neighborhood. We're not even going to be in the same city with low 70s today. It's just going to be rather chilly with the rain continuing to come down. Some pockets of heavy rain if you're out traveling between now and midday. Be on the lookout for a little ponding water on the streets and highways. Most of the rain will move east of the Triad by midday and early afternoon. We could actually get lucky and see a little peak of the sun late today. Don't hold me to that, but we'll definitely be back to dry weather and sunshine for tomorrow and on into Wednesday as well. Just a yucky day with periods of cold rain and mid and upper 40s. Tonight the sky will clear, 39 for the low, sunshine tomorrow, and 61. Now Wednesday morning we'll keep an eye on this. We're going to dip down to about 34. If the winds go calm, we're going to see some widespread frost across the Piedmont coming up on Wednesday, and then in the afternoon we'll be up about 67. Warming trend continues, sun and clouds in mid 70s on Thursday, near 80 on Friday. Next weekend right now looking mighty fine. Saturday and Sunday should be dry with low 80s, and I can't wait for that. Low 80s. Ugh. After today, we'll take low 80s.
Right, delivering some good news. Thankfully, we are going to have some nicer weather. Before we get to our first talker, Ed, I have to tell you. So on Friday, I was working on a special report in Clemens, and I stopped by at a Harris Teeter. I just wanted to run in and get some gum because I had a lot of coffee that morning. And I went in there and someone came up to me, they recognized me, but they wanted me to deliver the message personally of how much they adore you and love watching you on the Good Morning Show.
Oh, my face
and
is
they are
red.
your biggest fan, so I had to tell you that.
I'll tell you, I've been here over 33 years now, and I tell you what, the Piedmont Triad has been so good to me. So thank you. If you happen to be listening and you saw her in the Harris Teeter, that's very kind. Again, everybody is better to me than what I think I deserve, and I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You bring sunshine on a rainy day, and you do. Well, let's go ahead and get to our first talker. So for the first time since the pandemic began, Boston Marathon runners will take to the course on Patriots Day. So that brings us to our question for this morning. Which sport do you think takes the most endurance? While you share your answers, here's a little more background on the Boston Marathon today. 30,000 runners from 122 countries will compete in this year's Boston Marathon. This year marks the 50th anniversary since women began competing officially. 12,000 female runners are registered, and the race is 26.2 miles long. Fun fact here, there are 26 runners from Guilford County participating today. Obviously not Ed or I. So let's get back to our question. Which sport do you think takes the most endurance? Well, running obviously takes a lot of endurance, and that made me think of soccer because they're essentially running the entire time that they're playing soccer, right? Now, I've never played soccer before other than in like PE class, but I would imagine it takes a lot of endurance.
Yeah.
Also, I have to always fight for cheerleading, okay? In the competitive side and sense of it, you know, during a routine, it's 2 minutes and 30 seconds, but you are going full force that 2 minutes and 30 seconds. You're tumbling, you're stunting, you're doing a dance, you're doing a cheer, and for 2 minutes and 30 seconds, you're essentially dying, I think, personally. And then lastly, you know what takes the most endurance?
What's that?
That 4-hour Sunday Good Morning show.
Amen on that.
Yes.
You know, we have a lot of fun, but I think that's our longest show of all the
Yeah.
shows we have. 4 full hours. We come on at 5 a.m. and go off at 9. I do a couple of hundred weather segments, which I surely enjoy, and we certainly appreciate our viewers on the Sunday morning edition of the Good Morning Show. You know, I thought about it, running definitely in endurance, but the first thing that popped into my mind was actually cycling.
Okay.
I do a lot of bike riding. I do it for
yes.
pleasure, and I do it for the exercise and for fitness, but I don't get out there and try to kill myself. But I know that it really takes a lot of endurance to ride a bike, you know, especially if you're doing it competitively or, you know, something, you know, like that.
Yeah, I mean, think about triathlon when you're swimming, you're biking, and you're running. I would never want to do that, but kudos to the people that actually do that. So let's see what people are saying they think takes the most endurance. Basketball. Yeah, that definitely does. I mean, you're running up and down the court, especially if you're a certain position player that needs to be back and forth, back and forth.
Bobby Odom says basketball or soccer, and I totally agree. I mean, you're talking about a big-time workout playing those.
Bobby said you have to be extremely flexible to do cheerleading the same way with martial arts. That is totally true.
While you're looking for other comments, should I tell my cheerleading story that I told you?
I think you totally should. Go for it.
Back when I was in college, years ago, okay, I saw a poster on a billboard that said cheerleading tryouts. I had no idea what an incredible athlete you have to be. So me and a friend of mine went over to the gym. Now, the NC State cheerleaders, they have competed, you know, for cheerleading championships. I mean, they're darn good. And this was back in the 80s. So me and my friend went over. We thought, oh, it'd be fun to be a cheerleader. Yeah, getting to bounce around and cheer and yell and scream. We got over there and we saw what they were doing. And they were doing some incredible, very athletic moves. So we just kind of backed out.
You're like,
we just kind of backed out.
Maybe
and I said,
not.
I think I've changed my mind. So I'd rather watch the cheerleaders. Yeah, definitely different than what I have full respect for cheerleaders now after going to tryouts, but I never tried out, never, ever, ever.
yeah, it's a lot more than just, you know, waving the
It's not
pom-poms.
it's not just the pom poms, which I could do, but a lot of the other stuff, no way.
I told Ed, I was like, you would have been a great mascot.
Now that would have been fun. I think that would have been.
I feel like you have the
Wolf
best.
would have been fun.
Oh yeah, you have the best personality to be a mascot. Well, really quickly, let's see. I'll read some comments. Joanne said, triathlon tops all. My son has done several. Yeah, I can imagine that those are very difficult. Ty says swimming. That's I didn't think about that. You have to hold your breath and also work out so many muscles at once.
That's a good one.
That's
Yeah.
very true. That's got to be difficult. And then R. Brian says, LOL, I walk every day in a warehouse for 8 hours nonstop, and it ain't a small warehouse. So yeah, sometimes work can be the biggest endurance. And then for all you parents out there, I think running around chasing a toddler probably takes the most
about
endurance.
that. Yeah.
Well, I haven't gotten to the toddler phase, but I have a crawling baby, and she's taking a couple steps here and there. So when she starts walking, that's when I'm gonna need that endurance.
She's going to be into everything, and you're going to love every minute of it. You know.
You're so right. I am. I am. Well, you can keep weighing in on this conversation, but we're gonna go ahead and switch gears and get to some morning headlines. Well, this morning, a Triad pastor and wife are thankful a driver is okay after they crashed into a church. It happened over the weekend at the Second New Bethel Church in Winston-Salem. Pastor Melvin Aiken says the driver slammed into the side of the church, hitting a gas meter. It caused a major leak inside the building. Thankfully, the driver's okay, and the crash didn't stop the pastor from hosting Easter services Sunday virtually. Repairs will begin today. Racing will soon make a comeback to North Wilkesboro Speedway. The historic track has been empty for decades after being one of the first tracks in the sport of NASCAR and home to 2 Winston Cup Series races. Leaders said the track will host multi-week racing events on the current asphalt in August, and following the removal of the pavement, another series will return for several weeks in October on dirt. The track will be repaved in 2023. Guilford County Schools is invested in the education and the overall health of its students. That's why the district is expanding its telehealth clinic to 2 additional schools. WFMY News 2's IT Miller has a closer look at the expansion.
Cone Elementary will soon open its own clinic where students can get a variety of treatments just feet away from the classroom. Guilford County Schools says they are offering wellness programs because they found that schools like Cone Elementary are located in areas where it's harder for students to get access to health care due to poverty levels.
Our eyes have been opened. Parents don't have access to health care for their children.
More than 15,000 Guilford County students have gone to the ED for routine visits since 2019 because they don't have access to a primary care doctor. This map shows it's happening most in the eastern and southern parts of the county.
We saw this as a significant health equity opportunity.
To cut down on student absences and ED visits, Dr. John Jenkins with Cone Health and Guilford County Schools partnered to open telehealth clinics inside Bessemer Elementary and 2 other schools with the greatest needs.
Cone Elementary School and Washington Montessori School, which will be starting this spring. And we have a vision jointly developed with Guilford County Schools and the leadership to reach all of our Title 51 schools over the next 3 to 5 years.
Bessemer Elementary was the trial school and opened a clinic last year.
The headaches, allergies, stomach aches, we do have meds here on board in the clinic. Anything above that, we do a visit.
Kim Gordon is the nurse at Bessemer's clinic. She gave us a run-through of how a physician visit works.
He's pretending to be one of our patients who had an earache, and we are now looking at his tympanic membrane. So she places it in the ear. I can get a visual of his tympanic membrane.
This service has allowed 240 students who've used the clinic to return to the classroom the same day.
Education is a critical part of advancement, and we want to do everything we can, including health care, to advance education.
And parents must sign a waiver for their children to participate in the program. GCS says that 90% of parents have given them the green light. And Cone Health says that part of their mission in this is to connect children with a primary care home.
You saw Itanese there with the umbrella. Yeah, I hope you got yours. The rain is coming down already, over 1/4 inch of rain at PTI, and we could get upwards of 1 inch of rain in parts of the Piedmont before it tapers off early to mid-afternoon. And some of the pockets of rain will be heavy at times this morning. Temperatures mid-50s at midnight. That'll be our high temperatures for today. We've cooled back into the mid and upper 40s. Temperatures will hold in the 40s all day. Yeah, nearly 30 degrees below our normal of 72. It's going to get better after today. Smooth sailing for the rest of the week. We'll be up around 60 tomorrow and mostly sunny, a little breezy. Now, Wednesday morning, and we're going to keep you updated on this, we could see kind of some widespread frost on Wednesday morning as temperatures dip to about 34, but it warms into the upper 60s during the afternoon. Protect those plants before Wednesday morning, and then by Thursday, sun and clouds in mid-70s. The warming continues around 80 on Friday, and we're looking at some low 80s by Saturday and Sunday.
Okay, so I know you can't predict the future. I mean, you kind of do every week.
I try.
But Do you think that this is going to be kind of the last bit of 30-degree and like that really chilly weather?
If I say yes, I'm going to.
It's going to happen.
Okay.
Okay.
So if you look at the record books, we have had freezing temperatures in the Triad, and I can't remember the year, but you go into the first couple of weeks of May, we can, but usually once you get through April, pretty much smooth sailing after that. But this has been a weird spring anyway. Well, winter was weird enough, and spring with up and down temperatures. So hopefully this will be the last time, but I don't want to say definitely so, because that would jinx it, right?
Yeah, but that's why we typically say Mother's Day is when
usually
to look to Mother's Day for planting things, right?
Right. That's kind of when people start the 1st of May.
Okay.
That's when they really start planting, because the average date of the last killing frost is the last week of April.
Okay.
So, but sometimes you get it every once in a while as we go into May. Hopefully not this year.
Well, and I was just looking to see what today's date is, the 18th. So we still have a couple of weeks.
Yeah. My biggest concern is the strawberry blooms. They're already coming off in some areas, and they are so good this year. Don't want to kill those strawberries. And also after that, peach season. Sand Hills, Montgomery County, you know what I'm talking about, because y'all grow some good peaches down there. Don't want those blooms to be killed, because we got to have our fruit.
That's right.
Yeah.
We love the strawberries and peaches, so hopefully things will warm up. I know I am looking forward to the weekend. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us here on After GMS. We do this every day. Well, I say we. The Good Morning Show team, I'm filling in for fun today.
Guest appearance.
Yes, just like old times, but they do this every day at 7:45 on the News 2 Facebook page during the week, of course. So thank you guys for joining us. We hope you have a wonderful Monday. Stay dry and stay warm. Get out there and get to it.